The room fell silent, then erupted in cruel laughter. Sophia's face burned as she clutched the torn edge of her shirt, her knuckles white. Moments before, she'd been quietly taking notes at the back of the class, avoiding eye contact with anyone, praying no one noticed her. But the bullies, 3 of the most popular kids in school, had made her their target for months. This time, they didn't just whisper insults. They stood behind her desk, yanked at her shirt until the seam ripped, and let the fabric fall from their hands like trash. She wanted to sink into the floor. She wanted to disappear. Every pair of eyes in the classroom felt like knives. But then, something inside her snapped. Sophia had never been the type to fight back. After her family moved to town a year ago, she kept her head down, speaking only when necessary. What no one knew, not her classmates, not her teachers, was that Sophia's father was a retired martial arts instructor. For years, she had trained in their small garage after school, learning discipline, patience, and power. But she never thought she'd need to use it, not like this. Now, standing there with her shirt ripped and humiliation burning her skin, her breathing changed. It slowed. Her hands unclenched. She stood up so suddenly that the laughter faltered. "Apologize," she said, her voice low but steady. The bullies smirked. One boy stepped closer, clearly thinking this was another chance to humiliate her. "Or what? You'll cry." Her eyes locked on his, calm but unyielding. "Or you'll regret it." The moment he reached for her again, Sophia moved. One swift spin. A clean pivot on the ball of her foot. Her leg whipped through the air in a perfect roundhouse kick that stopped inches from his face, but the power in the motion was undeniable. The sound of her shoe slicing the air was sharp, dangerous. Every student in the room froze. The boy stumbled backward, his smirk gone. The 2 girls who had been laughing seconds ago stood rigid, eyes wide. No one moved. No one dared. "Last warning," Sophia said quietly. "Touch me again, and you'll understand exactly what I'm capable of." A tense silence hung over the classroom. Even the teacher, who had been out for a moment, walked back in and sensed something had shifted. The bullies mumbled something about "just joking" and returned to their seats, their arrogance gone. The torn shirt still hung loose around Sophia's shoulders, but she no longer felt small. She wasn't the shy girl they thought she could crush. Word spread fast. By the next day, whispers followed her through the halls, not mocking, but curious. Some students even came up to say they admired what she did. The bullies kept their distance, avoiding her gaze entirely. Sophia didn't become loud or popular overnight, but she carried herself differently. She realized that defending herself wasn't about showing off her skill. It was about standing up when someone tried to strip her dignity away. The sound of fabric tearing was like a gunshot in Sophia's ears. The entire class froze for half a second, then burst into cruel, echoing laughter. Sophia's breath caught in her throat. She clutched the torn edge of her shirt desperately, her fingers trembling, her cheeks blazing red. She'd been sitting quietly in the back row, trying to disappear into her notes, when they struck again. The 3 bullies who had made her life at school unbearable for months stood over her desk. This time, they didn't just throw paper balls or hiss insults, they made it physical. One of them grabbed the back of her shirt, yanking until the seam ripped. They let the torn fabric dangle in front of her like some kind of trophy. Her stomach twisted. Her eyes stung. Every set of eyes in the room felt like a spotlight burning through her. She could hear someone whisper, "Oh my God, did they actually just do that?" The humiliation was suffocating. But then, something inside her changed. Sophia had always been the shy girl. She rarely spoke in class, avoided the cafeteria, and walked home with her earbuds in to block out the world. Since her family moved here a year ago, she'd been a shadow. And the bullies loved shadows, they were easy prey. What no one at school knew was that Sophia wasn't weak. In the garage of her small home, her father, a retired martial arts instructor, had trained her for years. Punches, blocks, stances, sure. But more than that, he taught her discipline, patience, and self-control. "You don't fight to hurt," he'd always say. "You fight to protect." She never thought she'd need those lessons for real. But now, with her shirt ripped, her dignity attacked in front of the whole class, she understood exactly what her father meant. Sophia stood. Slowly. Deliberately. The laughter began to fade. The boy who had ripped her shirt smirked. "What? You mad?" he taunted, clearly expecting her to cry or run. Her voice was steady. "Apologize." That one word made the room fall silent. The boy chuckled and stepped closer. "Or what? You'll complain to the teacher." Her eyes locked on his, calm but unflinching. "Or you'll regret it." He reached out again, maybe to grab her, maybe to shove her back into her seat. He never got the chance. Sophia's body moved before the class could blink. One fluid motion, a perfect pivot on the ball of her foot. Her leg whipped through the air in a controlled, lightning-fast roundhouse kick. The heel of her shoe stopped just inches from the boy's face, but the power behind it made the air hiss. The sound was enough to silence the entire room. The boy's smirk vanished. He stumbled backward, knocking into his desk. The two girls who had been laughing seconds ago went pale. No one moved. No one breathed. "Last warning," Sophia said, her voice low but cutting through the silence like steel. "Touch me again, and you'll understand exactly what I can do." The bullies retreated without another word. The teacher walked back in just moments later, sensing a strange, tense energy in the room, but no one dared to speak. Sophia sat back down, her ripped shirt hanging loosely off her shoulder, but somehow, she didn't feel exposed anymore. She felt unshakable. Word spread fast. By lunch, the story had traveled through the entire school. Shy Sophia almost kicked Jason's head off. Some kids exaggerated, saying she knocked him flat. Others swore she had black belt skills. For once, the whispers weren't mocking, they were filled with respect. Days passed. The bullies avoided her completely. And something unexpected happened. Other students, ones who had been silent victims like her, started to smile at her in the halls. A few even thanked her quietly for standing up. One morning, she opened her locker and found a folded piece of paper. "Thank you. I've been scared of them for years. You showed me I could fight back too." Sophia held the note in her hands for a long moment, a lump in her throat. That, more than the kick, felt like her real victory. She realized then that strength isn't about being loud or feared. It's about refusing to let anyone strip away your dignity. And sometimes, when the quietest person finally speaks through action, the whole room goes silent.